All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This video comes from Sav Says, and it's titled Woke Students Can't Explain White Privilege. And I see here in the bottom left corner it says TPUSA X Sav, so it's a little collab going on. Before I start this video, let me explain to you what white privilege was to me back in a time when I, wasn't conservative. So white privilege, to my knowledge, was the thought that white people could get away with things that black people or people of color wouldn't normally be able to get away with. So, and over the years of me, growing and basically switching sides, I guess, I've learned in my argument to people of color when they say that, or even a white person, is that it's no way to prove that. Like, you can't prove white privilege. I think Jordan Peterson said that, like, quantify it, put it on a scale, weigh it with something. You really can't. But I've been going on for long enough, so I'm gonna let Sav take it over.
Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania has recently postponed an event that centered around being tired of cis white men. So I'm at UT campus to ask students what they think about the event. Let's go find out.
Saying like we're tired of straight white men in society is really as like explicit as it sounds. I think it's just contributing to a general idea that like we're tired of straight white men having the power and everything, and it's like we as women of color, as like students at this university, like we're very much capable of certain things, and we don't have the same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to today. Talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, straight white men have that you don't have. Talk to me about that.
I think I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like a specific instance?
I don't know, but I also need to.
And she instantly deflects the question right onto her friend. Boom. Grenade dropped right at her friend's foot. Now they both exploded. She can't even name one thing.
Specific instance?
I don't know, but I also need to go.
I know, I do really need to go. I'm sorry.
Especially.
And then they ran.
I do need to go. I'm sorry.
Especially people of color, we know the privileges or that.
Now they better not run away, because they look. Say it with your chest.
Especially people of color, we know the privileges or the advantages certain races have.
Talk to me about some of those privileges that white people have that you guys don't have.
I would just be like, okay, I guess I'll start with I am a black queer person. If I were to just walk amongst the streets, I'm also like women like I look very feminine. If I were to walk across the streets in the dark as a black queer female presenting person, I would not feel safe because I.
Stop the music. Stop the music. This was supposed to be about what advantages do white people have over you being a black person, and then she instantly goes to the queer. I'm queer. Like, do they not hear the question? Do they not get the point?
I would not feel safe because I feel like I would be pretty targeted. But if I were a white cis man, I don't think I'd be like the type of person someone would come up to and hate crime, because that's just not what happens.
I'm certainly cognizant.
Go walk around somewhere go walk around New York City with a MAGA hat. You'll hear you'll face some discrimination.
I'm certainly cognizant of my own privilege because of my own race, this is the color of my skin.
What privileges are those?
Lots of I mean, like, I think there are certain assumptions that come with certain people. Like, when they look at a black person or an Indian person, they automatically have this profile in their head, racial profiling, and that still exists. I mean, we're not going to escape that until human depravity itself goes away.
Talk to me about some of the privileges that white men are awarded that you guys are not awarded.
Definitely, like, I guess just getting away with situations. Like, if I were to, like, I don't know, like, I guess.
I'm ready with the clock. I'm ready with it, with the clock tick. Like, this is the perfect video for it. This is the perfect video for it. None of them can think of one thing when asked. Not one single person. You know, there are also benefits in this country when you aren't white. Affirmative action in schools, affirmative action in jobs. You know, there's plenty of criminals who commit crimes and are let out of jail to commit the same crimes. You know, these are black people, Hispanic people of color we talking about, and they have that privilege. Felons, convicts, that's privilege to me because they should be in jail. But let's continue.
Here you go. I have to think about it.
It's situations like if I had a problem with like a male teacher and they were a white cis male, there was less of a chance for something to happen to them because of it. Like, I could literally report them for anything, but because of that, if they were like upstanding in the community, sucks to me, basically.
Do you think that it would be the same reaction if it was like a black male teacher?
No.
No. I think this problem would be solved immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like POC people are like more targeted, or minorities are more targeted, especially with like crimes in general, or if a person of color was to do something wrong, people would deal with it more quickly than if it was a cis white male.
So you mentioned straight white men having more.
That's not true, because I mean, people that live in poverty, people that live in the hood, look at all the crime that goes on there and how much unsolved stuff it is there. If it was all about just cracking down on black crime and black crime was only the problem, things wouldn't be happening the way they're happening right now. I think these people live in the past. I don't think these people realize how being a cis white male isn't like it's not popular. You know, it's not popular. You get a lot of hate for just being a cis white male. They think that it comes with all these advantages, but to be honest, being a man doesn't come with as many advantages as you might think. It's not easy being a man.
Privileges. Can you talk to me about what some of those privileges are?
Yeah, so generally, you know, there's not really ever a sense of like discrepancy whenever someone is trying to, let's say for instance, there is a man who commits a crime and he's, you know, a regular looking white guy. Police are, you know, generally more likely to not have adverse reactions to them. Say if they're like having any sudden movements or sharp movements, they'll generally be more lenient with them compared to if it was like a black or brown person.
Where do you get that
Do the stats prove what you just said to be true?
analysis from?
Like statistics, crime statistics, rates of arrest compared to comparing you know, white people to like black and brown people or minorities in general.
What would you say to people who say like the black community commits the majority of the crime, that's why they're more likely to be arrested? What would you say to that point?
I would say that there are certain factors of society that have contributed to black and brown people being more impoverished, and crime is sort of
So tired of
the
hearing
way
this,
that a lot of people see an escape from this poverty. You know, stealing is a crime, but say you're a hungry man and you go into a grocery store and you steal some food for you or your family. Is that really a crime, or are you just trying to survive at that point? You know.
Let's be honest, man. People aren't going into stores and stealing for their family most of the times. You know, when you see videos of 100 kids inside of a 7-Eleven, you know, slamming stuff over and taking things, or when you got people going into the Gucci store and all these high-end designer stores stealing stuff, these people not stealing for their family. They stealing because they like to steal things. It's like their profession. It's what they do. It might be a few noble thieves it might be a few Robin Hoods out there, but let's be honest. That's not It's just not. It's just not the real world, man.
Well, y'all, it was nice to see the racism levels at UT Austin have gone down a little bit. So great video today. By the way, I am going to be at America Fest for Turning Point USA in Arizona this December 17th through the 20th. Go to amfest.com and use coupon code SAV, SAV, for 20% off your general admission ticket. I would love to meet you, and I would love to see you there. Thanks for tuning in.
Had to let Sav get her announcement out, but let me just attack that guy's last point right there really fast. Because I was just talking to my mother about this, and she was raised in Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. And, she lived in the, I guess you could, what would be definitely considered the hood now, but was just a I guess lower income community in Chicago. And the crime back then was not the way the crime is now. I really don't like this argument that where there's crime, that where there's poverty, there has to be insane rates of crime. And what these people do when they say that, oh, it's because they were, discriminated against in the past, so now all they have to do is steal. The only thing you do when you make that argument is absolve them of all accountability, and you basically give them a pass. Your past was hard. The people before you had it hard. So do whatever you want, and you shouldn't be judged for it, and you should get let out of jail. And no. We need to change that narrative seriously. Because just like Thomas Sowell said, and just like my mother said, poverty back in the day did not mean everyone everybody at each other's throats, killing each other, making the community worse. It didn't mean all of these things. You could still have you could still have a sense of community and come together within that. And you see that in other parts of the world, because those same people end up coming to America and bringing that unity and that community over here and becoming rich. So yeah, man. I guess that's it. Shout out to Sav for the video. Shout out to TPUSA. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe when you're out the door. Till next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.